Hello everyone, welcome to the video. So today I've decided to pick up an old project that I started before my year out. It's a book that I was going to self-publish, and then I started taking this year out and I decided to go down the traditional publishing route. And the more I explored in my sketchbooks, the more I felt distanced from the style that I was doing this other book in. It's a book about a dog on a boat. But I think that's silly. It's silliness to ignore all the work that I've done. I've only got a few pages left before it's finished and complete. I don't think, because it's so far down the road, I don't think it's one that I'll be able to approach traditional publishers with, but there's no reason I can't still self-publish that. There's so much work gone into it that I might as well do that. And as luck would have it, I've got an accountability session in 5 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that in this session. Got my little iPad, that's all I need. Got my iPad, nice. And then after that, I've had a question in the comments, which is a good question. So I'll be answering that soon too. Let me pop you in the corner and we'll do some work together. So that was a nice little session. I feel like I've got back into the flow of working on this book. I think it's a good idea to finish this project because I've put so much work into it. Just to leave it would be a massive waste. So I'll probably end up self-publishing this and then in the background work on my portfolio, my traditional publishing. There's no reason I can't do both, especially seeing as though I'm so far down the road in making this one. It'd be a massive waste of my previous time. But anyway, I've had a question from one of you guys, so let me just find that and then I will answer it for you. So it's a question from Helen, and Helen asks, if you could go to any country, town, place in the world with your sketchbook, where would it be and why? And what would you be drawing? Great question. I love this one because I do like to sketch outside. I like to go outdoors to sketch. And I have recently been thinking of going a bit further afield, not like mega far, but I was thinking maybe going to, I used to live in York, so York's a beautiful place to go and draw. Well, York's a beautiful place to be, and I'm assuming it's going to be a beautiful place to draw. I have drawn bits and bobs in the past when I used to live there, but I wasn't nearly as confident sketching and drawing in my sketchbook than I am now. So I was, if that makes sense. I'm not speaking words properly. So yeah, York is a beautiful place. It's got so much history. It's so beautiful. And because it's got the city walls, you can actually get up on the city walls and get nice views onto parts of the city. It's got lots of little, in the old part anyway, it's got lots of little alleyways and ginnels and snickets that you can go down with, like old buildings. So you've got the Shambles, which is like really old, an old street in York, and I think I it might have been used in Harry Potter, but it hasn't. It makes me think of Harry Potter when I'm there. So like really rickety buildings and stuff. So it's very interesting. So that's somewhere that was probably within my grasp to go, within my wallet and within my, ability in the short term to go. But when you asked that question, when I thought about it, I'd really like to go to Japan. And I don't think it's ever really going to happen because of money. But I've seen a few vloggers who on YouTube who have gone to Japan and have taken us along. And it looks, first of all, it looks like such a beautiful country. So beautiful. And the buildings look so beautiful. And it's just delicious. I don't know how else to describe it. But also, I think it would be interesting because, and this is something that I have found more acutely, I've more acutely realised since trying to learn Japanese, is that the language and therefore signs and stuff that you see on the streets is so very, very, very different to English. It's not like when you go to Germany or Italy or France and you can identify identify the alphabet that's on the signs that you see on the buildings and the streets and things. You've got an identifiable, you can maybe try and sound out the letters, and you might have learned French or German at school and you might have a residual idea of, say, oh, do you know how to speak English or whatever. But Japanese is so different to English in its characters, in its sounds, in the formations. I think it'd be so interesting to be in a place that is so, I want to say alienating, but I don't mean it in a negative way. So you're so far out and so far removed from familiar things. It'd be an adventure. It'd be such an adventure in many, many different ways. Not only would it be beautiful, but it'd be like you've been dropped on another planet. Again, I'm not meaning that in a negative way. It would be just, you wouldn't be able to read the street signs, for example, unless you had your Google Translate or whatever, but that's no fun. It'll be so exciting to be in something that is so completely different from what you grew up with and what you expected. So I think maybe Japan would be really nice. And in Japan, I would probably be drawing streets and buildings. Probably, I imagine. Like a town, like a small town in Japan. That'd be really lovely. Where else? Anywhere, I think at the moment, anywhere that's got interesting buildings. So like I say, York, I know there's interesting buildings because I used to live there. Japan, I've seen the beauty in like the little side streets and stuff. Like, I just want to go there and draw. There are some places in Scotland, some like little villages in Scotland that I've seen on the internet, on like Instagram and stuff like that, which look beautiful. I'd like to go to Shetland, again for the same reason, for the buildings. And yeah, I think maybe I need to scratch that itch at some point. Where would you like to go? Let me know in the comments. Is there anywhere that you've enjoyed going to draw? Is there, and this isn't just to Helen, this is to all of you guys, pop it in the comments. Anywhere that you've been which you know is really good kind of drawing fodder. Anywhere that you'd like to, like the kind of things that you are interested in drawing at the moment. Let me know in the comments. It's all very interesting to me. I do like knowing this. My iPad needs charging and it's lunchtime. I was going to head into town today and do a tiny bit of drawing because Andy is working in the city centre today, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to get into the city centre and do a bit of drawing, but it's so cold and it's a bit drizzly. I'm still so undecided about whether I'm going to do that or not. in. And I'm really glad that I actually went into town and made the effort, even though it was just for a few hours. Even though it was just for a few hours. I mean, what I mean is, I went in not at the beginning of the day. So usually by like lunchtime, the idea of doing anything new is unheard of for me. Not unheard of, but you know, like I can very easily convince myself this is me, settled down for the night now, prep for dinner, you know, do some nice easy home jobs. So I'm glad I made the effort and went into town. Sorry if you can see food on my teeth. I've just had some peanuts. So I'm going to show you what I managed to sketch. I went to the train station. If you're ever at a loss of places to go to draw and you don't know where to go, the train station's great because there are seats, it's undercover, and it's a little bit more anonymous than a cafe. So if you want to draw people, but you don't, you know, you feel like it might be a bit too imposing to sit down in a cafe and draw people in the same room as you, train stations are great because people are moving through really quickly and no one's looking at you because everyone's waiting for something. And yeah, you can see people with really interesting luggage. You can see people getting on and off trains with big bunchy coats, you know, dragging kids along. Quick, we're going to miss the train. You know, it's a really interesting place. And it's like I say, it's a very transient place. People are moving through it really quickly. So there's not really a lot of chance for people to hang around and notice you drawing. Do you know what I mean? Because they're either trying to catch a train or go out to catch a taxi or whatever. So anyway, let me set you up and I will flick through what I did. So, these were people in a waiting room. And it was great because there was glass between us. So I was outside the waiting room, they were inside the waiting room. And they didn't know I was drawing them, which was good. This was looking through a train window. Just tried to get a very quick outline. Again, some quick outlines. I find trying to get quick outlines of people is a really satisfying way of drawing people, especially when they're moving through really quickly. Just trying to get like an outline or a vague shape, a vague movement. That's almost like a continuous line drawing. I just kind of kept my pencil on the paper and kept going. The area of the train station that's good for these are the departure boards. You know, like the main entrance in the middle, in the main entrance in the entrance, I suppose, because everyone's kind of standing around looking at the departure boards. This is a little bit more kind of worked up. I was going to say finished, but it's not finished at all. But it's a little bit of a more worked up illustration. So that was one picture of a window. This was the one next to it, but I just did it underneath with a bit of the train writing on there. You get an idea of depth going through. And then just more people's outlines as they're racing through the train station on their way to who knows where. That's it. So this is where I'm going to leave this video today. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. So I'm going to catch you in the next one. So until then, bye.